The older I get, the more I realize how important happiness is in life. Life is far too short for us to be anxious, sad, and just straight up depressed all of the time. But that also begs the question, as I get older, I deal with more and more responsibilities every single day. So, how do I balance these responsibilities, many of which I don't want to do? How do I balance that with life and not being a miserable person? Today, I'm going to share exactly how I do that and how you can do it too. All right, gentlemen, welcome back. Today I got an absolute banger for you guys. We're going to talk about happiness. Now, I have touched on this before, but we're going to talk about it in a different concept. So, how we're going to talk about it is as follows: busy schedule. Again, like I say in some of my videos, most of you, I hope all of you, are functioning people of society. We have busy schedules. We're going to the gym, we're going to work, we're working on side projects, we're doing things for family, we want to have time for fun. Through all of that, there's a lot of things like maybe your work or maybe the gym for you that you don't want to do and that don't bring you happiness, and you do them every day and you feel kind of drained by them. I'm going to go through exactly how I kind of manage that because I've experienced some of that, a lot of it recently. Some of it in the past, but it's more prevalent than ever right now. But before that, a little bit of coffee. It's still early. It's the morning. Somebody I know who's probably watching this video put me on the daily coffee grind, and he knows who he is. But yeah, that's the way to do it. So you can see we got the nice woods background. I'll be hunting tonight. Stay tuned for hunting video. But anyways, let's get into it. So I think happiness, honestly, is really misunderstood. So what does happiness mean? Well, it means being happy, right? Being filled with joy. But what does that look like? A lot of people think happiness is doing pleasurable activities, whatever that is for you, things you like to do, whether it's watching TV, maybe you like to get outside, take a hike, whatever it is. Now, that definitely is happiness. Doing those things that bring you joy, that definitely makes you happy, right? But there's more to it than that, because honestly, we can't always do that. We spend a lot of our time doing things we don't want to do. So, according to that definition of happiness, we wouldn't be happy doing these things. But I noticed, at least recently, a lot for myself, that even though I do these things I don't want to do, I am fairly happy. Now, how do I do that? Because a lot of things I do, like my job, for example, I don't really like my job. Like, it's okay, but it's not my favorite, right? But I'm still happy at it. I still try and be a happy, joyful person. So now how do I do that? Well, it's pretty simple. Happiness is not necessarily this definition that I'm going for. Happiness is misunderstood. It's not about just doing things you enjoy. It's about doing things you dislike that give you something. That's kind of what I think happiness is. So let's take the job, for example. I don't love the work. The work is pretty mindless, but I make pretty good money doing it. And it's not horrible. I work with some decent people. It's not like a bad job. It's just not my favorite. So in turn, there's a lot of little things inside the job that bring me happiness. Going to the gym for a long time, I didn't like. It was really hard. But my perspective has shifted over time. Now I like that. Now the gym is a bad example because I like it, but it brings me happiness. Being happy comes from being busy, I honestly believe. I think about myself. I think about when I had not a lot on my plate. Sure, I was happy I got to do things, joyful activities, but the joyful activities weren't as good as they had been in the past. And I had a lot of free time. I was bored. I had no direction. Now, I might be busy to the brim. I might not be able to do all the things I want to do. For example, hunting, one of my favorite things, opened last weekend, and I'm recording this on Friday of the next weekend. I haven't got to go out yet because I've been so busy. But honestly, my day-to-day life, while it's very crammed, I'm happy because I'm busy. I'm working toward a better me. I'm working toward a better future. And that's honestly where happiness comes from. Now, again, don't get me wrong. I like to do things. I have things I like to do that bring me lots of joy, lots of happiness. But on the day-to-day, I don't always get to do those things. So how do you find happiness within the mundane things, the things we don't like? Honestly, it's kind of looking a little bit deeper. I'm a big believer in, kind of trying to understand the mind. The mind's a very powerful thing, and a simple change can really be the difference between if you enjoy something or not. If you go into your job thinking, okay, I have to be here tonight, I have to work this amount of time, I have to, you're probably going to hate your job. You're probably going to hate your day, maybe even hate your life a little bit. Whereas you go to that same job thinking, you know what, I may not want to be here, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to see if I can maybe have a metric. Like for me, you know, I have to do a certain amount of tasks per hour. So it's like, all right, today I'm going to try and beat that metric. You kind of gamify it. You look forward. You look for small little things to improve on, to be excited about, and that makes the most mundane things happy, and that's going to make you a happier person. But it also comes down to in here, because if you are not truly happy, if you don't have peace in your heart and your soul, you're not going to be a happy person. And honestly, that just comes through time. It comes through self-experimentation. It comes through working out the things. I'm not a big believer in therapy. However, I am a big believer in when you feel something that you think you need therapy for, kind of yourself going through why you feel that way and breaking those down and seeing what you can do about that. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother topic. But that's kind of how it is. Happiness is definitely misunderstood, and I've touched on that now. But as it still goes, these things we do still suck. Don't get me wrong. That's why you need to be working toward a better future. For example, the job scenario. I do not want to be at this place or anything like it for very long. But I have to right now because that's what works. That's what does what I need it to do. So what am I doing? I'm doing things like this. Now, I'm not doing this with the goal of becoming rich and famous, but I'm doing it with the goal of building a skill, trying to share some value, trying to build something outside of that maybe can benefit me and hopefully can benefit lots of you out there through my work. That's what I'm doing. You have to build yourself up, because even if you do things you hate, if you're working on yourself and you're doing things like this, which it might not be content creation for you, but doing things that actually bring you happiness, peace, and joy, you're going to be a happier person, and you're going to be able to get through those hard things with a smile on your face. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently because my schedule kind of sucks right now. I do a lot of things. Most of my day is spent doing things I really don't want to do. But honestly, I'm pretty happy and I'm pretty satisfied right now. I'm still making progress toward my goals. So that's kind of what it is, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the background. Maybe something cool happened back there, some birds flying around. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.